So it reminds a little bit the story that we told last week also. But this is a story about the Baal Shem Tov, and it's about the verse that there shall be no poor amongst you. So the Baal Shem Tov told that one time this low-spirited poor man came to him and asked him for salvation. And the Baal Shem Tov told him that he should go under this bridge, and his request will be filled, and he will find gold there. And he went there, and he didn't find anything. And there he met another um, like poor and low-spirited man, and he told him, "What are you asking for?" And he told him what the Baal Shem Tov told him, but he said, "I looked and looked, and I couldn't find here anything." And then the other guy was a tailor. He told him also, the Baal Shem Tov told me to go into such and such home and look under the oven. I will find a great treasure under the oven there, but I'm a little lazy to go over there. And how am I going to dig under somebody else's house under the oven anyway? So when he heard him say that, he thought to himself, "I'm the house that the Baal Shem Tov told the guy to go to. So, so maybe I should go to my own, house and look under the oven and find the treasure." And so it had been. He went there and he found the treasure. And the other guy who was where they met, in the nature by the bridge. He thought to himself, "Well, if the Baal Shem Tov told that guy he should look under the bridge, maybe I will look under the bridge and I will find the treasure." And so he did. He decided to dig deeper, and he did find the treasure under the bridge, and they both became very rich. And then each one of them thought to himself, "My friend is the one who's responsible for now my wealth because he told me where to dig, right? Um, and how can I not be grateful for that?" So they each one went to the other with a bunch of treasure in their hands. And on the way they met each other, and they were so happy to meet each other. And they didn't know what to do with all this bunch of money that they had with them. So they gave it to each other. And then they started talking some more, and they realized one had a son and the other one had a daughter. And they decided to marry them off, and that should be their nedunya, that should be their wedding gift, like the gift that they were supposed to give to each other. And the one who told the story, the Rebbe of Kaminka, said that he used to tell this story at a Malava Malka, and after he would tell that story, he said this was the last story of the evening, and after that you did a Birkat Hamazon, the blessing over the meal, and he would always say that, at like Sheva Brachas and whatever, he would tell this story, and then he would say Mazel Tov, and he would sing Shira Malos, and he said. That mostly, like he would tell that story with the insight of understanding that we're all so busy with our own either poverty or wealth that we're not thinking about the other's poverty or wealth, right? So so usually, like, we tell this story in reference to the idea that the treasure is always beneath your own nose. But here we're coming up with another understanding that we're basically also consumed with our own what's happening in my life, and we forget to think about the other. And in this case, these two people, they came out with another outcome because they remembered to think about the other also even after they became wealthy. So they came out with a shidduch, because they weren't so, only consumed with their own needs. They each wanted to see the other one happier, right? Because the other one didn't know that the other one found wealth under the bridge. Right. And this guy didn't know that he found the wealth under his oven, right? Each one, they didn't have internet, they didn't have email, right? each one thought that the other one, oh, the poor guy, he went back home and I found his treasure,
Right.
right? So then they realized I'm going to go and give him some of my wealth, right? But then they realized now they were both wealthy. And because they were busy thinking about the other, they came up with the shidduch idea. So many times we're so consumed with our own pain, right? But it's like I've seen it many, many times in my life that sometimes you're really busy with like what's going to be with this and what's going to be with that. In the meantime, I'll make a phone call to help this one or do that or go out to do that instead of being in my anxiety of like, how am I going to fix my own deal, my own business, right? And by the time I've gone and done this and that and the other, my problem has somehow dissolved also, or maybe I met someone who can help me with my problem or whatever it is, right? So it's like this is how we connect to Hashem, to a heavenly energy, by not being so consumed with our own problems. And that way we're solving each other's problems, right? There was this idea that I've seen already quite a few years ago that people sit in a cycle of telling each other's problems, just in a very, like simple way, not like digging too deep into their soul, whatever. I have a dream to whatever, right? And then he's like, oh, I have a friend who has blah, blah, blah. And that one will be, and I have a friend and blah, blah, blah. And they saw that in a group of 20, 25 people, everybody has some kind of a tool, an acquaintance, or whatever to solve each other's dreams and problems.
That's nice.
Yeah. We should do that maybe here too sometime.
Yeah, when we get a group of 20, 25.
We have plenty of 2025. Yeah. Yeah.